first thing we're going to do is celebrate your arrival every day, your first day, and hopefully when you apply for the job. But your first day should be celebrated because you've chosen us and we welcome you, and you're now part of our team, and we want to serve you.
I fell in love. I fell in love with that meaningful connection that we're able to build every day in our communities. And I was 19, 20 years old when I got my start, and 14 years later, I've never looked back.
When I get up, I can't wait to go to work. I have a faster walk to work than I have away from work. And that's that passion for excellence. The day isn't about the work that you're doing, it's the passion for it.
So I came to Leisure Care in 2001 as an intern and spent the summer reading our 25th anniversary letters from residents and their family members and from employees of Leisure Care. And they told stories about what Leisure Care meant to them. And honestly, I sat in the back office and I cried the entire summer. And I went back to school having completely changed what I thought I was going to do with my life.
Everybody seems to be so friendly, so caring, so helpful. I've never been in a position where I've not wanted to disappoint people more.
At first I was nervous, but once I got here and actually started talking to everybody, it's really nice. I love it.
Each person is valuable, and I think that our employees recognize that in each other, and they recognize that with the people that they serve, and to me, that's huge.
I think the secret sauce is really in how we approach it. I think our values, the 3/3 lifestyle with family first, philanthropy second, and business comes third. It really works because that whole person can be their best person and do their best job.
Well, I think having the perspective of a family member first and foremost, because every day when I walk in for my grandma and for my family, and I make a commitment to our team, but also to our residents and their family members, that this is a safe place, that we are going to do the right thing when no one's watching, because that's when it's most important.
It was just going to be a lot easier as far as the hours, being able to be there for my daughters. Daycare was an issue too. It was, restaurant hours, you got to work those shifts, where that 10:30 to 7, and it was hard on my family. So I needed something a little more stable as far as the hours went.
My mom was actually a marketing director at a retirement community, so I started volunteering at a young age. So I had that experience working with older adults and just knew that that was the field that I wanted to work in.
I am in a position every day where I can be a successful mother first and foremost. I can give back to my community inside and out, and I'm a successful wife too, and I'm proud to say that. I've worked for places where those things weren't embraced. You had to pick one of the three, and we really encourage our staff members, even during the interview process, to know that we are the community that's going to allow them to be there for the things that are important. They don't have to miss baseball games, they don't have to miss dance recitals, they don't have to miss flag salutes on Fridays, or if their mom's sick, they can be there for that doctor's appointment and not feel bad about it. We are here to support each other, and being cross-trained is huge. We can jump into any position at any time and handle it, so our family feels supported.
My grandma moved into a Leisure Care community, so I was a family member. And so I would walk in after work and go to her apartment, and actually prior to that helped her move in and get her apartment all set up. But yeah, on a regular basis I would come over, visit with my grandma. She'd naturally want to have a meal. We would go over for different events that the community was hosting, and so it was just a great experience, and quite honestly one of the main reasons why I wanted to work for Leisure Care.
The way it is here at Fairwinds, we have that where it's family first, and that's amazing and wonderful to me and very important. And that's why I've been here so long, is because they want your family first. And that's important for me as a single mom. I have two teenagers, daughters, and it's important for me to be there for them. And Fairwinds makes it easier for me to do that.
It's not something that you just leave and forget about. Like I go home and I tell my parents, like, oh, like this resident said this to me, and we talked about this and this happened, and I feel like it's more than just like go to work and forget about it when you leave.
But the really great thing about it is for me, is being a dad, it gives me the opportunity to spend quality time with them and not feel guilty about that.
The 180 Foundation is the philanthropic division of Leisure Care. The 180 Foundation serves all of our communities. It is based in Seattle. 180 Foundation is based in Seattle and was historically founded here, but its purpose and its mission is to provide a means of giving back to the community in all of the residents and the communities that we have in the Leisure Care system. Our mission is to provide grants to children and families, so nonprofits that primarily support and improve the lives of children and families. What is the most satisfying thing about working for the 180 Foundation? I'll have to say it's the days that we go out with our employees. So we've done things like serve meals to youth care here, where at lunchtime, youth come in from the streets and we have cooked the lunch and we serve the lunch to them and then we clean it up. So that's directly having an interface and conversation with those people that we're funding.
You know, I'll tell you a story. When I was a general manager, I met with Dan Manson a few times. I asked for a one-on-one meeting, and he was kind enough to give me 2 different meetings that lasted a long time. And he shared something with me, and I had 2 young boys and busy life. And he said, you know, Ryan, what's going to happen is you're going to have all these different leadership positions outside of work. And I didn't understand it when he shared that with me, but sure enough, that's how things have played out, whether that's been as a football coach, whether it's been in church activities, whether it's been in feeding the homeless with the Seattle Union Gospel Mission, and a bunch of other avenues where I've stepped into leadership roles. And so it's been really interesting to see that evolve 15 plus years later.
Oh my gosh, we do so much. So we've been giving back in lots of different ways for lots of years. Angels Depot is a food bank that we've given back to for years. Brother Benno's. It is a homeless shelter / soup kitchen, and we as a team go the 2nd Wednesday of every month, and we serve to people who are participating in their program. And it's really touching because it's not just homeless people, it's people who just can't quite make it. There's small children who come in there before school, and it just touches your heart because that could be any of us at any time.
We went to a home of a single mom with 2 small children, and we painted strips, primer, we created tiles. The whole backyard was transformed. It was raining so hard that rain was just dripping off of all of our employees, but we laughed. We did something together, and it's irreplaceable. It's an invaluable experience, and you have had an immediate impact on a mother with young children whose life has changed forever.
Well, I always wanted to work at Boeing. My dad had been there for over 30 years. My brother's now been there for 25 plus years, so I always wanted to follow in their footsteps. And I got my opportunity to do that, and this was in the mid-90s. And so I was progressing and working my way up and enjoying it. But I came to the realization a few times walking in my car that I just couldn't see myself for the next 30 years or so in a job that was going to be fulfilling at Boeing. And it wasn't anything against them, they're a great company. But during that time, I had a lot of people that said, you know, we saw you live with your grandma, we saw how you treated your grandma, we saw how you treated your grandma's friends. Have you ever looked at senior housing? And I said, no. I didn't think that was in the cards for me. But the more I thought about it, the more I started to volunteer and just try it out and learn and talk to people. At that time, I also became a family member as my grandma moved into a Leisure Care community. And the more I thought about it, the more I felt like this was the right place for me, that this was my calling.
I think it's special to work here because we really do want employee to employee, team member to team member to show one another respect. And we start there. We start with the team being the most important, and then coming together and gelling so that that team can then have that happiness, have that energy, and be able to provide outstanding service to our residents.
Anytime you walk into one of our communities, it's an overwhelming feeling of joy. You've got laughter and the background noises and just the initial greeting, the bright faces, the open eyes, just an overwhelming desire to serve.
They were so welcoming, and it wasn't what I remembered when I was a little girl. I remember going to retirement homes, and it was a scary place. It was, my grandmother would refer to it as the funny farm or the nut house, and she didn't want to be in that place. And so growing up, that's what I thought these types of places were. Until I walked in here, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, do I have the right address? This is like a hotel. It was beautiful, the fountain and the chandeliers, but even more so the people. They sparkled and they shined more than any fixture in this building. And all these years later, they still do.
But it always, in my opinion, starts with the heart. It starts with, are they a great person? And do they want to be part of a great team? And then also serve our residents and family members and vendors, and just provide outstanding customer service.
The focus on fun and family values and quality of life is just so apparent whenever you walk through the doors. And spending any amount of time with any of our staff or employees or our residents and families, I mean, you feel it immediately.
You choose Leisure Care because you thoroughly enjoy your experience. You could wait tables somewhere else, you could wait tables at Leisure Care, but the experience that you're going to get with the people that you work, the energy, the fun, the support, our 3/3 lifestyle where we genuinely care about you and want you to have a great time working for us is the difference.
Every day is an adventure, and I try to make the most out of it, but still work hard, always.
People really are willing to pitch in. So if you're really busy and you say, hey, can you give me a hand? Can you do this? I need some help tomorrow, or I need help this afternoon. I think people will really try to go out of their way to make things run smoothly here. And so there's a really strong team effort of pitching in.
I think that somebody who is considering it really needs to look within. Are they compassionate? Are they caring? Are they understanding? Are they patient? Because those are really the things that you need in order to work in this environment. We need to be people who are listening to everything that everybody says, and that we're engaged in what they're telling us, and if there is an issue, that we're acting on that issue, and we remember to always follow up. If you're capable of doing those things, we can teach you anything else.
Don't shortchange yourself. You work hard, you deserve to be respected, you deserve to be understood, and you deserve to be loved.
I think the opportunity to learn has never stopped. I'm here in my new role and I'm nervous. That's a good thing because I'm gonna learn something new and I'm gonna keep growing.
So I don't know, it's the environment here. It's when I come to work and I cross that door, it's like to see the people with a happy face. I mean, that makes me laugh, or you know, when you say something funny, I start laughing. Sometimes it's too early in the morning and I just start laughing.
It was exciting to be able to come and realize that you can just have fun with people here too.
This is not a sad place. It's not a gloomy place. It's a happy, thriving, active environment.
My favorite part about working with the seniors is, for a lot of them, they have a story to tell. And me being a retired Marine, I kind of lean a lot towards the veterans and the retirees, and in particular the ones from the Marine Corps, because they have a story to tell and I can relate with them.
The one thing that's consistent throughout the communities in the corporate office is what I spoke about earlier, this celebration of the arrival. It feels a lot like junior high and high school, when it's the social part of why you get up and go to work every day. I love coming into work and seeing people sitting around and talking. And what'd you do last night? They just saw each other yesterday, and they're talking about what was important to them. And that is so important the first hours of a day, minutes of a day, whatever it might be, to just reconnect. And I'm okay, you're okay. And you'll find that in all of the communities. There's a lot of hugging. There's a lot of embracing that just says, hey, it's great to see you. Welcome.